I'm Jeremy Bencken, and I'm chairman of Buzzstream and mentor at Capital Factory.
All right, so tell us a little about your background and how you got involved in Capital Factory.
So my background is that I founded apartmentratings.com with my wife, and we launched that as a bootstrap venture kind of on the side while we were going to business school. And it grew into one of the top 5 apartment hunting sites on the web, and we sold that a couple of years ago to internet brands. And so we've continued to be involved with that startup or that company, and so applying some of the lessons learned from that, I got involved with the Capital Factory group as a mentor, helping companies that are dealing with some of the same issues that we dealt with at Apartment Ratings.
So talk a little about the early days of Capital Factory and how you got involved and sort of how that went for you, mentoring those companies.
Sure. So I actually talked to Josh, for a while before Capital Factory was founded, about just the hope or the desire to create something like a Y Combinator or TechStars program in Austin, and he was all for it. And honestly, I'm very grateful that he took the lead on it, because I did not have the time or the resources to jump on it. But he invited me to join as a mentor, and so I was very glad to get involved at that level.
So talk about the type of mentoring you did with some of the companies and the things that you did for them.
So a lot of the companies were dealing with issues of getting organic SEO or organic traffic, and a lot of the businesses are organized in a way that they have to be able to get large amounts of consumer traffic in a particular niche cost effectively, and the best way to do that is to rank number 1 for within at least the top 5 for hundreds, if not thousands, of long-tail keyword searches. And so that's essentially my expertise, my background from Apartment Ratings is figuring out how to get your site to rank for all those long-tail searches.
Yeah, and it's interesting with social media. There are people who say that social media may overtake search as a primary means of finding customers. What would you say about that? Like, is that going to happen? Not going to happen? Sooner than expected? Later than expected? What do you expect to see there?
Well, it's a question of, I think, how they merge together, because I think ultimately what will happen is search will be influenced heavily by social media. I think there'll still be an aspect or a strong element of search, and people will still have an intent to go find something, but more and more your social relationships are going to determine what you see in your search results, because you'll find things based on what people like you or people like your friends are buying or recommending.
Interesting. So talk a little about the Austin startup scene and what you like about it here, what you think could improve about Austin. Just talk about all that for a moment.
Well, I think Austin, is a great city for founding a startup here. I think one of the big advantages that Austin has is that we have kind of an interesting mix of semiconductor companies and network management and traditional consumer software and web, consumer web software, really. And so the interplay of all those competencies make for an interesting workforce, and so that's a great thing about Austin, is you have a good variety. But kind of the downside too is that within any particular niche, expertise starts to get a little bit thinner, and it's hard to find as many people that are really experts in your particular industry and your particular business model.
All right, so what types of businesses do you think would thrive better in Austin, maybe compared to other parts of the country, or which ones on the other side of it do you think would struggle here in Austin?
Yeah, without question, anything network management related or systems management is going to be, Austin has people and talent that cannot be found anywhere else, and that more and more that is trending toward that's trending toward kind of an IT consumerization play around those types of that industry. And so you have SolarWinds, who's really taken the lead in improving out that business model, and then you've got Spiceworks, who's also doing it, and they're very successful. And so they're basically taking systems management, using IT consumerization to deliver it, and now as a sort of regional expertise, we're going to have a lot of people that know how to build a company, that would traditionally have been an enterprise software company, but be able to build that in kind of a smaller and more agile way.
All right, in closing, where do you see startup opportunity in the future that may not be obvious at this exact moment in time? Or what types of opportunities do you see people taking advantage of in the social media and internet marketing space?
Well, I think there's a huge opportunity for people applying social media marketing to their businesses, that the surface has only been scratched, and only a few. Generally, in any given industry, there's only one or two players that have kind of figured out how to make social media into a lead gen vehicle or into a more effective branding and engagement vehicle for their getting in touch with their existing customers or reaching out to new customers. And I think that that's probably the main thing that we're going to see is that spread much deeper into every industry, and a lot more people will figure it out and start using social media marketing as their primary means of. Let me rephrase that. I think that we'll see a lot more people dedicate budget and shift budget away from local advertising and traditional print advertising toward social media marketing.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for your time, Jeremy. We appreciate it.